This is Dr. G. Madhubala, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, Bharat Institute of Science and Higher Education and Research. I'm discuss about now. I am going to discuss about engineering chemistry. The topic is atomic and molecular structure. From the topic atomic and molecular structure, we are going to discuss about atom, molecule, atomic orbital, molecular orbitals, molecular orbital theory, rules for filling of molecular orbitals, and Schrodinger wave equation. In Schrodinger wave equation, we are going to discuss about time dependent equation. So first of all, we are going to discuss about molecular orbital theory. Due to molecular orbital theory, what is, first of all, we are going to discuss about what is molecular orbital theory. When atoms combine to form a molecule, we know that already two atoms, that is two or more atoms, will be combined together to form a molecule. In the case of the atoms will be combined to form molecules, their individual atomic orbital lost their identity and forms new orbitals, isn't it? We know that already. That is, the individual atomic orbital, they lost their identity, that is, lost their electron, and it will be forms a new orbitals called molecular orbital theory. That is, it is called as a MOT theory. So according to MOT theory, we discuss that is, we explain that the shape of molecular orbitals, it is always the shape of molecular orbitals depending on the shapes of combining atomic orbitals. So the number of molecular orbitals formed is same as the number of combining atomic orbitals. In the cases, half of the number of molecular orbitals formed will have lower energy than corresponding atomic orbitals, while in this case the remaining orbitals will have a higher energy level. So that we discuss about what is the meaning of lower level and what is the meaning of higher energy. That is, what is the meaning of lower energy level in the molecular orbital with lower energy is called as the bonding molecular orbital. In the case, the molecular orbital with higher energy, it is called as the antibonding molecular orbital. The orbitals are represented as in this the lower energy level, that is called as the bonding molecular orbital. In the bonding molecular orbital, it is represented as sigma and pi bonds. Then same like as the antibonding orbitals are represented as a sigma star and pi star. So that we know that from that we already discussed and we clear that what is the meaning of atomic orbitals, what is the meaning of molecular orbital, what is the meaning of lower energy level and higher energy level. Lower energy level is considered as a bonding one, then higher energy level is considered as an anti-bonding one. It is mentioned that sigma, sigma star, pi and pi star. So that we are going to discuss about same the electrons. So the electrons in a molecule or accommodator in the newly formed molecular orbital, so that the filling of the electrons in orbitals, it will be always follows the following principles. In that principles, we are going to discuss the Aufbau principle, Pauli's exclusion principle and Hund's rule. So that first of all we are going to take the rules of filling of molecular orbitals, Aufbau principle. This principle states that those molecular orbital which have the lowest energy are filled first. So the lower energy level, that is the bonding energy level, we already discussed. The bonding energy level will be that is considered as a molecular orbital. It will be filled first and then it will be goes to the higher energy level. It is always according to the Aufbau principle. Then Pauli's principle. What is the meaning of Pauli's principle? It is called as the Pauli's exclusion principle. According to the Pauli's principle, each molecular orbital can accommodate maximum of 2 electrons having opposites. spin. Okay, isn't it? From that, always the electrons in that is in electrons, the molecular orbital can accommodate opposite spin according to the Pauli's exclusion principle. And then we follow the Hund's principle. So according to the Hund's principle, what the Hund's principle states that it is always states that two molecular orbitals of the same energy, the pairing electrons will occur which each orbital of same energy consists of one electron. So always it will be considered as a same energy. So the example will be given. So for example, we have to take as a hydrogen. In hydrogen, we know that the total electrons will be 1. So the orbital will be formed at the lower level and then it will be goes to the higher level. So the electronic configuration is 1s1. Same like that, we have to given as an example helium, lithium, beryllium and boron also. Okay, we know that already, that is lower energy level, higher energy level and bonding orbital, anti-bonding orbital, how it will be filled first, then it will be followed some principles, that is Abbo principle and Pauli's exclusion principle and Hund's rule also. So according to that, how many covalent bonds in between there in two combined atoms? The atoms will be, that is 2 or more atoms will be combined together to form a molecule. So in between, how many covalent bonds it will be there? So we have to calculate the covalent bonds. How we have to calculate that? That is using as a bond order. So what is the meaning of bond order? The bond order gives the number of covalent bonds between two combined atoms. The bond order is calculated as follows the following formula, that is NB minus NA divided by 2. That is capital N small b minus capital N small a divided by 2. Whereas, what is the meaning of NB? So, NB means the total number of electrons present in the bonding molecular orbital. That is, B is denoted as bonding molecular orbital. So, that is the lower level, isn't it? That is denoted as sigma and pi. So, Na, what is the meaning of Na? The total number of electrons present in the anti-bonding molecular orbitals. That is the higher energy level. That is, it is denoted as sigma star and pi star. So we know that clearly how we have to calculate the bond order. That is the in between how many covalent bonds it will be there in the atoms. That is the molecules. So from that, how we have to conclude that, how we have to conclude the molecule. That is, the bond order is 0. Suppose the calculation, after the calculation, the bond order is 0 means it will be always indicate that the molecule does not exist. So that is, we have to consider as a bond order. So after that, in this bond order, we have to calculate it. So from that, how we have to explain that atomic and molecular orbitals. We know atoms, molecules, molecular orbital theory. What is the meaning of lower energy level? That is bonding level, anti-bonding level. How the electrons will be filled first. That is, the electrons will be first filled with the lower level and then it will be goes to the higher energy level. So it will be cleared. We discussed. So from after that, how it will be explained. So the Schrodinger will taken as the function, that is the wave function. He represented as through bonding and anti-bonding orbitals. The Schrodinger scientist, according to the Schrodinger's wave equation, the atomic orbital can be represented in terms of its wave function psi. So we are going to discuss about the Schrodinger equation. Before that, what is the meaning of wave function? Why the Schrodinger equation is called as the wave equation? So the Schrodinger always is explained bonding and antibonding orbital using as a wave. So this is called as the Schrodinger's wave equation. So he explained the atomic orbital. The atomic orbital is explained in terms of the wave function. That is, the wave function is denoted as psi. So after that, the two atoms, that is in atomic orbital, we clear that. Then molecular orbital. How the molecular orbital will be denoted as? That is atoms A and B. So two atoms we have to take, and that is denoted as one atom is A and another atom is B. So the two atoms A and B each containing one electron. There wave function, that is each atom will containing a one electron. It is the wave function are represented as xi A and xi B. One atom, that is the electron, will be denoted as xi A and another one is denoted as xi B. So the electrons combination will be given bonding orbital and antibonding orbitals. So through the wave equation, that is through the Schrodinger's wave equation, that is we have to explain that particle and wave. So what is the meaning of particle and what is the meaning of wave? What is the difference between these two? How we have to consider as a particle and wave? The electrons in one atom, each atom having one electron, so the electrons have a dual nature, isn't it? So we have to take as a particle. So dual nature means particle and wave, everything will be included for that. That is the nature of the atom. So and there is electron, so they can be considered as moving in atom in the form a wave represented as a xi. We already know that, we already discussed the particle, it will be moved around the nucleus, that is it is wave as a represented as a wave. So in the case of wave, it will be moved, the particle will be moved, that is represented as xi. Let us consider two atoms, that is xi A and xi B. So xi A is the wave function of electron of atom A. So the atom A we have to take, that is xi A. In atom A, xi A is considered as a wave function of electron A. Xi B is considered as a wave function of electron B. Therefore, the wave function of bonding molecular orbital will be given by xi bonding equal to xi A plus xi B. Xi antibonding is denoted as xi A minus xi B, isn't it? So the bonding and antibonding will be explained like this, that is xi bonding, that is we have to explain that xi A plus xi B, the blue color will be given xi A one atom, xi B another atom, will be combined together to molecule. So it will be through the waves, so it will be going on through waves. So xi bonding, it will be there in lower level to higher level. So that is the in the bonding orbital, that is the bonding we have to taken, the electron density, the electron is there, the electron density is there, so the electron density is high at the center. In the corners, the electron density is low, that is a bonding orbital. Then we have to consider as, that is we have to compare to antibonding orbital, that is the same like that A is a plus and B is the minus. So we have to take as the anti-bonding one, that is the opposite spin we have to take blue and green, the bonding level, and then it will be combined together to form a molecule. So the blue is one and another is a green one. So what is the difference between bonding and anti-bonding? There the electron density is high in center, but in antibonding orbital the corners electron density will be high and the center low in electron density. Okay, we clear that what is the meaning of bonding and antibonding. Xi A, Xi B, Xi A plus Xi B, Xi A minus Xi B. So that is considered as a bonding and antibonding. From that we are going to discuss about linear combination of atomic molecules, that is atomic orbitals. What is the meaning of linear combination of atomic orbitals? That is two atomic orbitals will be combined together to form a molecular orbital. So we clear that two atoms, that is two atomic orbital, will be combined together to form a molecular orbital. That is in the case the wave function we have to take an A plus B, and that is we know that is A and B atoms. So in the case the wave function xi A and xi B are combined both in phase, xi A xi B is denoted as, then out of phase xi A minus xi B. So how we have to explain this? That is, we understood, we know that is in phase, that is in a particle, then in particle will be moved in a closed one and out of phase. So in closed one in a phase, that is called as a phase, that is xi A plus xi B. Then out of phase we have to take xi A minus xi B, it will be there in and around. Okay, the particles will be moved here and there. So it is denoted as wave X, wave Y and wave Z. So xi A, xi B, xi A plus xi B. So I and then xi a xi b that is equal to xi a minus xi b, that is xi a plus xi b, that is resultant for wave z, that is called as a constructive interference. Why it is called as a constructive one? Two electrons we have to take on, that is two atoms, each atom have one electron, so the two electrons will be combined together. The waves of bonding atoms, that is reinforce each other due to constructive interference. So it will be constructive one, that is called as the constructive interference. So it is called as a symmetric combination due to the formation of bonding molecular orbital. Thus it will be formed as a bonding molecular orbital. Then that is xi a minus xi b, it is called as a destructive interference. What is the meaning of destructive one? The electron waves cancel with each other due to destructive, that is repulsion is going on. So destructive interference, that is called as the antisymmetric combination. So in this case of antisymmetric combination, it is formed as a anti-bonding molecular orbital. So that we have to consider as a that is we have to taken as a bond order. From that we clear that the electron density in a bonding molecular orbital is located between the nuclei of the bonded atoms, so that the repulsion between the nuclei is very less. While in case of antibonding molecular orbital, most of the electron density is located away from the space between the nuclei, that is out of space. Okay, so that is called as the in phase and out of phase, that is xi a plus xi b and xi a minus xi b. According to this, we have to discuss previous topics. We have to going to discuss about Schrodinger wave equation. So we know that bonding orbital, antibonding orbital, lower level, higher level. Lower energy level will be filled first, then higher energy level it goes for the second one, that is denoted as plus and minus. We know that bonding, antibonding, symmetric, antisymmetric, everything. So from we cleared that, so that we have go for the Schrodinger wave equation. So from the Schrodinger, what he discussed, what he derived in Schrodinger wave equation. So Schrodinger wave equation is always one of the basic equation in quantum mechanics. From quantum mechanics we have to taken as a basic equation. From that he derived the following bonding and antibonding orbitals. It can be used for both macroscopic and microscopic particles. So Schrodinger derived this mathematical equation to describe the dual nature of waves. Dual nature of waves means xi a plus xi b, xi a minus xi b. That is called as a dual nature of waves, particle and waves. So dual nature of waves and also extend the idea of waves. He extended from the quantum mechanics. That is the basic one. He has incorporated the expression for de Broglie wavelength equation also. It is he denoted as the general classical wave equation to form as wave equation. After that, this equation describes the motion of the atomic particles like electrons in atom or metal, any other electron, that is atom or metal. He taken the particles like electrons. From according to that, there are two forms of Schrodinger equation he derived, that is time dependent and time independent wave equation. We are going to discuss about first time dependent wave equation. What is the meaning of time dependent wave equation? It is described mostly he taken the important one, the time, that is the particle at a time, how much that is from bond order also we described. So according to the classical mechanics, if x is the position of the particle, he taken x and t. What is the meaning of x and t? X is the position of the particle. Position of the particle means we have to taken as a particle in a box. So in particle in a box, the electrons will be moved here and there. Just we imagine that point A and point B. The particle will be moved. The particle means electrons. The electrons will be moved one end to another end. Okay. So the particle will be stayed in place. That the walls of the A. That is we imagine that the A is the wall of A one end, wall of B another end. The particle will be stayed in wall in the wall of A means that is the position. So we have to taken as a particle position, that is suppose it will be stayed. but the particle will be moved here and there, isn't it? A to B, B to A to B, the length, some length it will be there. So the particle will be moved means that is called as the position of x. With the velocity v, it is taken as the particle moving with the velocity v and the displacement of the particle at a time. So time it will be calculated. So it is given by the common equation from the quantum mechanics. We have to take y equal to a, capital A, e to the power of I omega t minus x by v. Sorry, x by mu. So whereas omega is the angular frequency of the particle. So what is denoted as the symbol omega? Omega is the angular frequency of the particle. We know that is the position of the particle, that is x. So in that particle, how many angular frequency it will be there? How much? That is the omega. So similarly, in quantum mechanics, the wave function xi, we know that already. The wave function, it is denoted as the symbol xi. So similarly in quantum mechanics, the wave function xi xt represented as the position of the particle, that is the position of the particle means electron's position. So position of the particle x of a moving particle at any time t, and is given by xi xt, xi of xt equal to a e to the power of minus I omega t minus x by mu, isn't it? So we know that the angular frequency omega equal to 2 pi mu. Therefore this angular frequency equation is mentioned as equation 1. So we know that already the angular frequency omega equal to 2 pi mu. So therefore the equation 1 becomes as xi of xt equal to a e to the power of minus 2 pi I mu t minus mu x divided by, vt minus vx divided by mu. That is equation 2. We know E equal to h mu. E is the energy, that is the kinetic energy we have to take. So the capital E equal to h mu. So mu equal to E by h. So it is the equation 3. So also if v is the velocity of the particle behaving as a wave, then the frequency of v equal to mu by lambda. So v by mu equal to 1 by lambda. We can rewrite the equation. So this is mentioned at equation 4. This equation 4, that is we concluded the equation 4, we can write like this: v by mu equal to 1 by lambda. This substituting equation 3 and 4 in equation 2. What is the equation 2? That is, it is the angular frequency. The equation 1 become as xi of xt equal to a e to the power of 2 minus 2 by pi I vt minus vx divided by mu. That is the equation 2. In equation 3 and 4, in equation 2 we substitute, we get xi of xt equal to a e to the power of minus 2 pi I e by ht minus x by lambda. This equation is denoted as equation 5. So if we introduce P, that is P is the momentum of the particle behaving as a wave, then the de Broglie wavelength equation is given by, that is the momentum of the particle, lambda, that is P we have to take lambda equal to h by m mu equal to h by p. This equation is denoted as 6. So substituting this equation 6 in 5, we get xi of xt equal to a e to the power of minus 2 pi I et by h minus px by h. Or we can write, we rearrange the equation, xi of xt equal to a e to the power of minus 2 pi by I divided by h cross, that is h is the common one we have to take. So et minus px. This is equation 7. From that we can rewrite, that is we can write the equation 7, xi of xt equal to a e to the power of minus I by h cross, that is h squared, that is h cross et minus px, whereas h cross, what is that, is h we have to denote it as a h cross, the value is h by 2 pi equal to 1.055 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule per second is called as the reduced Planck's constant. So this is the equation 8. We have to differentiate the equation 8 partially with respect to x, that is the position of the particle, that is the electron, we have to position of the electron. We get dou xi by dou x equal to a e to the power of minus I by h cross et minus px ip by h cross. So we denoted as, that is we have to taken as the h by 2 pi, that is h cross value. So we differentiate once again partially with respect to the position of the particle, that is x. We get dou squared xi by dou x squared equal to a e to the power of minus I by h cross et minus px I squared p squared by h cross squared. Since from this is denoted as the equation 10, since we have to taken xi value, that is xi of xt equal to a e to the power of minus I by h cross et minus px, and we have to take another value of I squared. What is the value of I squared? That is a minus 1. So we can write dou squared xi by dou x squared equal to xi of xt minus p squared by h cross squared, or we can rewrite the equation p squared xi equal to, that is p squared xi wave function we have to taken, we have to that is derived the time dependent wave equation. So we have to taken as the p squared xi equal to minus h cross squared dou squared xi by dou x squared. This is equation 11. So from that equation 11 we have to differentiate the equation 8 partially with respect to the time. So already we have to differentiate the equation before, that is the 11th equation, that is partially with respect to the position. So first we have to differentiate the equation, we have to taken as the position, and then we have to taken as the same as the equation 8 partially with respect to the time. So we get dou xi by dou t equal to a e to the power of minus I by h cross et minus px minus I e by h cross. So that is from this equation we denoted as the red round, that is a e to the power of minus I by h cross et minus px. The whole equation will be denoted as the xi xt, that is xi of xt, that is the energy, isn't it? So we have to substitute the value h cross by minus I dou xi by dou t equal to E xi. So that we have to take as the value of energy, isn't it? Or E xi equal to I h cross dou xi by dou t. So from this equation is denoted as the 12th one. So from this equation 12, a particle can behave as a wave only under motion. Always the particle will be moved here and there. It is, we have to consider as a first of all we have to taken as the position and the time also. So here that from the equation 12 we conclude that the particle can behave as a wave only under motion, so that it should be accelerated by a potential field, that is we have to taken as a potential field and kinetic energy. So here we have to taken as kinetic energy, that is we have to substitute, we denoted as a 0. So therefore the total energy E equal to, that is the total energy denoted as capital E equal to the potential energy V plus the kinetic energy, the value of mv squared by 2. So we from the equation we multiply and divide by m, both will be considered as E energy, that is the total energy equal to V plus, that is the potential energy, then the kinetical energy m squared v squared by 2m. So from that E equal to V plus p squared by 2m, we know that p equal to mv. So we substitute the value of p, E xi equal to V xi, that is the wave function we include, plus p squared by 2m xi. This equation is considered as a 13th equation. So we substitute from the equation 13, we substitute equation 11 and 12. From we after the substitution we get I h cross dou xi by dou t equal to V xi, the potential energy, minus h cross squared by 2m dou squared xi by dou x squared. This is the equation 14a. So from the equation we can rewrite that is the potential energy is 0, that is V equal to 0, we already know that. So h squared by 2m, that is a h cross squared by 2m dou squared xi by dou x squared plus I h cross dou xi by dou t minus V xi equal to 0. This is the equation 14b. So equation 14 represent the Schrodinger's one dimensional time dependent wave equation. First of all, we substitute the position of the particle and the time, isn't it? So we substitute the equations 11, 12 in equation 13, we get the time, that is one dimensional time dependent wave equation. It is called the time dependent wave equation because here the wave equation, that is the wave function xi of xt, depends both on position x and time. We already know that, we discussed. That is first of all we have to going to discuss the position of the particle and the time also. So it is always the wave function xi of xt is depending upon the time position and the time. So we conclude that first of all we have to going to discuss about the Schrodinger's time dependent equation, that is the energy level. So for free particle we have to take, and this is the position of the particle in a box, that is we imagine that. So after that we have to take as a free particle. So for a free particle, the potential energy V equal to 0 and the equation 14b. What is the equation 14b? The potential energy is 0. So it will be becomes h cross squared by 2m dou squared by dou x square plus I h cross dou xi by dou t equal to 0. This equation represents Schrodinger's one dimensional time dependent wave equation of a free particle. So that we clearly know that similarly the three-dimensional form of above equation is rewritten as, that is we conclude one dimensional equation. Suppose it is a three-dimensional, we have to rewrite the equation 14, that is 14b, h cross squared by 2m del squared psi plus I h cross dou xi by dou t minus V xi equal to 0. This equation is depending upon the Laplacian operator, that is we introduce del square. This is called as the Laplacian operator. Del squared equal to dou squared by dou x squared plus dou squared by dou y squared plus dou squared by dou z squared. That is we have to, in free particle we have to take on one dimensional one, that is the position of the particle x. This is we have to mention the three dimensional form. So it is denoted as x squared, y squared and z square. So this equation 15 represents the Schrodinger's three-dimensional time dependent wave equation, that is three-dimensional one is this. So we have to rearrange the equation h squared by 2m del squared xi plus I h cross dou xi by dou t equal to 0. It is represented as three-dimensional time-dependent wave equation for a free particle. So the equation 15 can be rewritten as E xi by h xi. That is, we introduce Hamiltonian operator h. That is, the h equal to v minus the value of h equal to v minus h cross squared by 2m del square. Whereas we have to take as the psi of xt. That is xi the wave function, x is the position of the particle and time, that is there is a three-dimensional one, so we have to take as the position x, y, z. So three dimension, that is the position of the particle and time also. So this is called as the Schrodinger's three-dimensional time dependent wave equation. Thank you.